So the Washington Commanders have had an excellent free agency, if you asked me. But one position in need that they kind of have neglected is the wide receiver position. Some may say because they have expected Brandon Aiyuk to be on his way, or that they're going to take place or take action in the draft. Well, we are sit with a receiving core with just Terry McLaurin and a bunch of guys that are just Jags at this point. So do the Washington Commanders call up an old friend by the name of Deebo Samuel? Well, I think they have no choice but to do that. Let's talk about it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti Talking Sports. You know what it is. Shout out Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
I always say it's not how they line up, it's how they wind up.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We enter the Washington Commanders live stream, and in today's live stream, I'm coming on here basically defending my man Deebo, man. I'm pleading for the Washington Commanders to re-sign Deebo Samuel. Not only has Deebo showed interest in returning to the Washington Commanders, not only did Deebo Samuel go out his way and like my Instagram reel that I made about him in terms of returning with the Commanders, but the Washington Commanders find themselves in a predicament where they need a Deebo Samuel at this point. I know a lot of y'all weren't thoroughly impressed with Deebo Samuel last year. However, the presuming thought was that the Washington Commanders didn't bring him back because they were going to be better without him, or they were looking to upgrade at the position. And the whole thought process was, we're going to get Brandon Aiyuk and we're going to do this, that, and the third. So we don't need Deebo Samuel. Well, with the 49ers being some hoes right now and being weird, and technically, I'm not going to lie to you, they're playing their cards right for a person that basically effed them over. They're holding a grudge against them, as they should. But from a Commanders fan standpoint, they effed us over. They messed up our whole plan, right? Because now they're going to keep Brandon Aiyuk for as long as they can, probably into June. And that sets us back and it puts us in an odd situation because now we're stuck. We cannot wait for Brandon Aiyuk to become available and not do anything until June. Because if that's the case, and if we go with that route, then you're just putting all your eggs in one basket. You now have to do something at the receiver position prior to acquiring Brandon Aiyuk in June if you do still go with that plan. Let me go ahead and show you guys the Washington Commanders' current receiver room. And I'm going to show you guys exactly why I think it's so important for the Washington Commanders to address the receiver position right now, because as it stands, and as I already mentioned to you all, it's pretty meh. So as you guys can see here, of course, right, Washington Commanders receiving core, right, it's pretty mid. So obviously, you got Terry McLaurin as your receiver one. That's without a question, of course. You got De'Ami Brown, a guy that I was banging the table for the Washington Commanders to bring back, a guy that I felt like Washington should have never released or let go. And in free agency last year, I've always felt like after that playoff performance, he found himself here in Washington. At least they let him go. He went to Jacksonville. Now he's back. You got Luke McCaffrey. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Lukey Pookie. That's my dog. I want him to succeed. I think it's something to him. And unfortunately, due to the broken collarbone, things came to a screeching halt for him last year. However, I'm still excited for year 3 of Luke McCaffrey. Treylon Burks is another name that I'm interested in, and another name that I feel like has untapped potential. This is a guy that's a former first-round pick for Tennessee, and I think if he could stay healthy, he could potentially turn the corner and find himself a home here in Washington. But of course, that's not somebody that you want to put, all your trust and faith in. It's just more so potential-wise. Jalen Lane, for me, at this point, is nothing more than a punt returner. And we knew that coming out of college, out of VTech. And that's why I always tell people that kind of get on his case about him not being a good receiver. It's like, well, he was never drafted to be a receiver, right? When they said that we drafted Jalen Lane and they talked about him on the draft show, they showed all of his special team highlights for the most part, right? And they talked about how outstanding he is as a kick returner, as a punt returner. And we've seen that. As a punt returner, I think he has the potential to be one of the best in the league, if I'm being quite honest with you. However, when it comes to Jalen Lane, he's small. He can't really get off the line of scrimmage. For the deep threat and the speed that he has, it's not really, able to get unveiled and unleashed because he lacks the ability to get off the line, right? So hopefully he works on that this offseason. You brought in Van Jefferson, and Van Jefferson, I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. I think he's gonna get cut. I don't think he's gonna even make this roster. I don't think you bring in Van Jefferson and De'Ami Brown because they both do the same thing. They both are deep threats. And the Steelers fans commented on my Instagram reel when I announced that we got Van Jefferson. They was like, "Have fun with Van Jefferson. He's not any good. He has hands like a snake." And when we brought in Van Jefferson and De'Ami Brown at the same time, I said, well, one of these guys are going to be gone. And they know De'Ami Brown. We know what De'Ami Brown is capable of. So I think Van Jefferson is on the outside looking in. And then Jacoby Jones, and obviously the preseason and training camp superstar of last year, Jacoby Brooks, is the final guy that's technically on this receiving core right now. And he's intriguing as well. But the overall point that I'm making is this team is suffering at the receiver position right now. And again, with Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers playing hardball right now, and we don't know exactly when he's going to come here, if he still does come here, you have to do something at the receiver position before the draft, right? Because again, like I said, you don't want to find yourself in a position to where you put in all your hope and prayers and, oh, we're going to be able to get Brandon Aiyuk on this 1-year deal, and you don't do nothing else to receiver position, right? And now you're it's like last year again, or it's like the year before when Terry McLaurin has no running mate. You don't want to do that. So I know they didn't want Deebo Samuel originally, and they had plans to go elsewhere with the receiver position. But now that you put yourself in a predicament to where you either have to do something, well, I think you have to do both, honestly, still. But you put yourself in a predicament to where you now may have to draft a receiver at 7. You no longer may be able to go for the best player available. How Adam Peters worked so hard for this offseason to set this roster up to where you can select the best player available at 7. Now that you have a glaring need and hole at the receiver position, you may now need to draft a receiver. And on top of that, get a receiver in free agency. And I think you got to go back with Deebo Samuel. I truly do. Let me go ahead and show you guys this video here on Instagram of what I was talking about. Of course, as you guys know, follow your boy Juan Gotti on Instagram. We're almost at 2K followers on there. But I want you guys to take a listen to this video because again, this really shows you exactly how I feel and what I was thinking when it came to Deebo Samuel returning to the burgundy and gold. Let me get the sound going for you guys so you can hear exactly my thought process of why I believe Deebo Samuel needs to come back to the Washington Commanders. Let me go ahead and put this back up for you all with the sound on there. So take a listen to this. This is a little clip that I had out. I put out earlier today. And this is what I said about Deebo Samuel and the reason why he needs to come back to the Commanders. So that's what I had to say about the Deebo Samuel situation earlier today, and honestly, I'm still standing on that. Um, and honestly, I really feel like he has became a realistic option for the Commanders. Now, you may be like, "Well, Juan, if he's this prominent, free agent and somebody that you feel like should have been signed, why haven't he been signed yet?" And that's a good question. I honestly feel like the reason that he hasn't been signed, maybe he has to come down on his number. That's the only reason. Because again, his 2025 production was damn good. Like with what the circumstances was, with no Jay and Daniels, no Terry McLaurin, no Noah Brown, so many other injuries around him. He even getting banged up himself. He still was able to produce 700 yards. And with knowing who Terry McLaurin is and knowing the consistency that he is and how irregular last season was, for the first time in his career, he really faced some injury adversity. If you had to ask me Terry McLaurin and his statistics when healthy, he's giving you 1,000 yards minimum. So if you would have paired that up with the 700 yards that Deebo gave you last year, I truly think we would have a different outlook on him. I really do. I really think Deebo is getting an unfair treatment and unfair look, if I'm being honest. I think people are holding him to a higher pedestal based off of his name and what he was able to do in the past in San Francisco, and also holding last year against him. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and act like Deebo Samuel was perfect, right? Two plays come to mind. One in Kansas City where he dropped it, right? And it led to an interception, a drive in which we were going to get points, right? We were going down there versus Kansas City, and we were going to get points. But unfortunately, due to Deebo having hands like a snake, he got injured. Or excuse me, he dropped the pass, and it ended up going into the hands of the Chiefs defender. So that ended our drive right there. Another play that comes to mind is a play versus the Vikings, where wide open touchdown on 4th and goal, and Jaden Daniels threw an absolute perfect ball, and it hit him right in his hands. So I'm not telling you that you you can't do better than Deebo Samuel. I think you could. And I think that was their whole mindset and their whole plan. Why do you think they went out and tried to go get an Alec Pierce? Why do you think they went out and tried to go get a Romeo Dobbs, right? They clearly have shown us that they want to invest in the receiver position without a doubt. They showed us that. The thing is, I think they shot themselves, not that they shot themselves in the foot. I think the 49ers are holding up their plans, and it's going to alter their plans, because now you changed your plan to having to now go get a receiver at 7. A lot of people talk about Washington having the ability to get a receiver in the 3rd round and all of that and all this, but I'm gonna be real with you. Not only am I ignorant to who else is back there in this draft class, but I don't want to wait to the 3rd round to try to hope that we can land on a Terry McLaurin, right? It's more likely that these receivers that get drafted in the 3rd round are De'Ami Browns and mid just guys receivers than they are gems like Terry McLaurin. So I don't want to put that faith or pressure on Adam Peters to have to draft a 3rd round gem. We drafted a 3rd round receiver last year. We drafted a 3rd round receiver in Luke McCaffrey, right? So we've done that before. I think Washington are going to be in a position to where they need to draft a receiver at 7. So here's one of the plays from Deebo that, was kind of like, a big reason why fans probably didn't want him back. This one right here kind of set the tone for the game, right? Because we were going to get points, and he ended up having hands like a snake and bobbling, interception, ended the drive right there. Okay. So that's me showing you like Deebo Samuel is not perfect. And I'm not telling you that you can't do better than him, but the situation that we're currently in now, that we find ourselves in now, is needing receiver help. Unless you want to go out there and wait to June to maybe get Brandon Aiyuk. And again, the thing with Brandon Aiyuk and waiting to June that I don't think a lot of people are also taking into consideration is the fact that he needs OTAs. He needs off-season training. We have not seen this man play in 2 seasons. We have not seen this dude competitive play since 2024. So how do we know if that knee is really good? Right? We know he needs reps with his guy. Everybody just assume, oh, Jaden Daniels is his boy. He going to get back right. He good. How do we know that? So if there's a guy that needs OTAs help more than anybody, it's a Brandon Aiyuk. But if you wait into June, now instead of having that OTA off-season training ramp-up period, it's really going to be him thrusted into training camp. And training camp ain't no lackadaisical shit. Like that's the real deal. So again, I think Washington has found themselves in a predicament that they did not want to be in because they were hoping that Brandon Aiyuk would have been available and been ready to rock and roll. But again, since the 49ers are being weird about this whole situation, it has now altered the plans of the Commanders draft process. I think the Commanders now are going to find themselves having to draft a receiver at 7. And if you guys had to ask me, I'm not mad at that. We need it at this point. And this is coming from somebody that has been BPA all draft long. We need receiver help now. I would much rather swing on a receiver to help out Terry McLaurin than to just leave Terry out there by himself. Now, here's what I will say. The receiver position still has an immense potential, and it's still much better than what it was last year. That's just being honest, right? Terry McLaurin, Luke McCaffrey, De'Ami Brown, those guys, and obviously Treylon Burke, those 4 guys by themselves are much better than what we had last year, right? Chris Moore and Robbie Chosen. So the depth has been risen. However, the names I just named aren't guys that you want consistently running next to Terry McLaurin. Now, De'Ami Brown is interesting because, again, I felt like had we kept him, he was just finding his groove. But again, I think you still can do better than De'Ami. I think De'Ami is still your number 4 receiver. So just imagine if the Washington Commanders actually went out their way to address this receiver position in the draft, right? So imagine it's Terry, it's Mekhi Lemon, it's Treylon Burks, De'Ami Brown. Those 4 right there, that's amazing, right? That's great. If it was me, if I'm being honest, like just being real and how much better I want this receiving core to be, I would go out and get Deebo and draft the receiver. I would go out and get Tate. I would go out and get Lemon at 7. I would go out and get Deebo. So now your receiving core could look something along the lines of Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Mekhi Lemon, Treylon Burks, De'Ami Brown, Luke McCaffrey, and I think Jalen Lane, obviously, because his punt return duties, he's going to make the roster. So I do think Washington potentially is going to keep 7 receivers. I am a person, how they say you can never have too many edge rushers? I'm a person that feels like that with the receiver position. You can never have too many weapons. You can never have too many receivers. And the reason why I think Mekhi Lemon is a perfect option for the Washington Commanders, just being real, is the new trendy thing in the league is slot receivers. A lot of people talk about the slot receiver position and how, you don't want to invest that high in him. You don't. He only can work from the inside. Well, did we not see JSN just have a historic regular season and had a damn solid postseason as well? Did we not see that? One of the best seasons ever. Offensive Player of the Year. Right? Did we not see Amon-Ra St. Brown put up 1,500 yards constantly? Putting up over 1,000 yards? Did we not see Cooper Kupp that 1 year, Triple Crown year, like the slot is the wave now. So imagine Jay and Daniels having a slot man, a merchant, a slot demon like Makai Lemon. Then you got Chiggy Okonkwo. Now you got Chiggy. So I that's just what I'm thinking about it. And you got, because now you got Terry McLaurin, who's your is your 1A. He's your Mr. Do It All, right? Then you would have Makai Lemon, who could succeed, could be the successor to Terry McLaurin. He can grow, take that JSN path, right? Grow and eventually become the one. But right now, he would be your 2, right? Then you would bring back Deebo Samuel. Then you would have De'Ami Brown. So Terry's your all-around guy. Makai Lemon is your slot guy, but that can grow into a number 1 receiver and grow into a beast. Then you got Deebo, who's your underneath, your physical blocking, can do everything, take handoffs. He's your guy that can do it all. De'Ami's your deep threat. Traylon is your physical blocking, throw it up. He can throw a one-on-one pass, one-on-one coverage, just throw it up to him, let him climb the ladder, let him climb top shelf. And he's also 26 himself, 25, 26. So he could potentially reach that first round potential that he did have coming out of Arkansas. Right? Luke McCaffrey is your depth, slot guy. And Jalen Lane obviously is your punt returner. So I think if you go out and you get Deebo and you draft Makai, that kind of flips this whole receiving core on his head and make it actually super competitive, super good, if I'm being honest. And the way that they went about this offseason, it puts me in a position to say that's the last thing that we need to complete this offseason. Now, here's another theory that a lot of people have been talking about, and this is why I say the Brandon Aiyuk situation. And that was the receiving core without Brandon Aiyuk, of course, right? If you insert Brandon Aiyuk, then you don't need Deebo Samuel, right? But again, are we willing to wait all the way into June to see if he's going to become available? This is the predicament that Washington finds themselves in, that I don't think they wanted to find themselves in, but unfortunately they had to. They wanted to go best player available. They wanted to draft the best player available on the board, regardless of position. Whether it's Caleb Downs, it's Sonny Styles, it's Ruben Bain. You know what I'm saying? Whoever y'all feel like is BPA at 7. They now find themselves in a predicament where they could go best player available, but they're potentially leaving a big hole at the receiver position. But then also think about this too. Can you afford to pass up on a Ruben Bain at 7? Can you afford to pass up on a Sonny Styles at 7, even with the receiver position being what it is currently now? Because we talk about how stacked these pass rushers are currently, but if we really dumb it down and really look at these contracts, the only person that has a multi-year deal is Odafe Oweh. So yes, the pass rush, the edge rusher position has became one of the strong suits of this team currently now. It has. But it's not a position that is guaranteed to be as effective as we think it could be this year. It's not guaranteed to be that next year, because the only person that's going to be here next year guaranteed is Odafe Oweh. Right now, K'Lavon Chaisson's on a 1-year deal. Charles Omenihu's on a 1-year deal. Drake Jackson's on a 1-year deal. Dietrich Wise is on a 1-year deal. I believe Javonte Jean-Baptiste could be a cut candidate, to be honest with you. But I believe he's on the final year of his contract as well. So you see why I say this Aiyuk situation has threw a wrench in our plans? Because now we may pass up on a Ruben Bain. We may pass up on a Caleb Downs. We may pass up on a Sonny Styles because we need a receiver. Remember I told you how I feel about that. I don't like drafting for need in the draft anymore because the last regime has ruined that for me. Remember, we drafted for need with Ron Rivera, and look how that got us. We drafted for need in 21 with Jamin Davis because we needed a linebacker. And two coaches that quote unquote knew the linebacker position because they played it in the NFL couldn't find a linebacker to save their goddamn life. It was John Bostic. It was Kevin Pierre-Louis. Right? It was Sean Dion Hamilton. Right? So they said, you know what? At 19, we're going to go with Jamin Davis because he's a military guy, military background, I should say. He comes from a military background, so he's a good guy, good family, and he killed the combine or killed this pro day athletically. That shit didn't translate to the field. Where the hell is Jamin Davis even at now? UFL, out of the league? Okay. That's 2022. Instead of sitting there, potentially taking Chris Olave, potentially taking, I think Kyle Hamilton may have went a pick before us, but Jameson Williams was still on the board at that time, right? We trade back. No, because I think Baltimore was 14, because I think we were originally 13 that year, and obviously we traded back with the Saints to 16, and the Saints came up and took Chris Olave. So I'm gonna just go on a limb and say we were 13, obviously, and I think Kyle Hamilton was still on the board as well. And you see what he turned into. But instead, Riverboat Ron and Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney say, you know what? It's a brilliant idea to trade back to 16 and draft Jahan Dotson. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like I didn't think Han was going to be something good, especially after his rookie season. But the point that I'm making, and in 2023, what do? We needed corner help. We needed somebody to turn the ball over, force turnovers, the one that haunts me to this day. We needed somebody that could take the ball away. So we draft Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez. And you've seen what he's turned into. We drafted for need. And mind you, if you need a refresher, we were 15, right? Or 13, one of them. No, I think we were 15 or 16. We take Emmanuel Forbes. The very next pick was Christian mother effing Gonzalez to the Patriots. Everybody and their mother expected the Washington Commanders to take Christian Gonzalez. Why? Because everybody and their mother knew he was the best cornerback in that draft class. We knew that. They said he was a top 5 pick. They don't know how the hell he slid down the board. And we had the glaring opportunity to take him. And Riverboat Ron says, we're going to draft for need. We need somebody that can force turnovers. And this guy, Emmanuel Forbes, don't care that he's 70 pounds soaking wet. He has all the interceptions. He had the most interceptions in the SEC that year. So we're going to draft him. Smart. Fast forward to present day. You see why I don't want to draft for need? But now we find ourselves in a predicament to have to do that. And shout out to everybody in the chat. It's 125 people in here. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to get to you all's comments. I'm going to read all the comments. So take time out to leave a comment for what we're talking about, because you're going to take over the show in a few minutes. I'm reading all you guys' comments. Shout out to my guy, HTTI Prods. Shout out to Queen right here. What's up, Juan? What's up? Smash that like button. You all know. He says, we don't have a choice once the player is drafted. I know, Queen, right? We just gonna have to get behind him regardless. I'm right there with you, but I'm just venting right now because we've been some trash at draft in the past. So, but yeah, that's why I'm not pro draft for need. But the Washington Commanders find themselves in a position to have to do that most likely, unless are we going to pay Jawan Jennings $20 million? Do y'all see what Jawan Jennings ass is commanding? No pun intended. You hear me? No pun intended with the jacket on. But do y'all see Jawan Jennings is commanding $20 million a year. Did y'all see that shit? So are we going to bring Jawan Jennings in on a 1 year, $12 million deal? I told y'all how I feel about Jawan. I told you, he cool. He cool. But to me, he falls right in line with the rest of these dudes. He's not a guy that puts fear in defense's hearts. He's not a guy that you got a game plan for. He's not a guy that is going to give you 1,000 yards consistently. He's just another guy. I told you, to me, he looks like a healthy Noah Brown. Are you going to pay Jawan Jennings 1 year, $12 million? Okay, cool. You get Jawan Jennings, I'm fine with it. But that cannot be it. That cannot be it. Just how y'all feel about Deebo Samuel can't be it. If that's the move, that's how I feel about Jawan. You go out and you sign Jawan Jennings to a 1 year deal. Okay, what else? Get Makai. Get Carnell. Get Jordan Tyson. You gotta do that. I swear to God, like, man time, bro. Like, if we go out and September come and our receiving core is Terry McLaurin and the rest of the Jags, I'm going to be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. And look, Queen said it perfectly. He didn't get a fair chance because everybody got hurt. Jaden Daniels got hurt. The one reason that he came here, he got hurt. Terry McLaurin got hurt. He came in for Terry. He got hurt. Everybody got hurt. And he was the only guy that had some chops that could actually do something. And he put up 700 yards with all the bullshit that he had last year. Now imagine what he could have done had he had Terry McLaurin for 17 weeks. And mind you, this is another thing that I don't think people are taking into consideration. I really think Cliff Kingsbury was holding his offense back too. So if David Blau is all cracked up to what he's supposed to be or what we think he could be, y'all telling me he can't get the best out of Deebo Samuel for 17 games? Say everything goes according to plan. Jaden stays healthy. Terry stays healthy. No injuries for real. You don't think David Blau could get Deebo Samuel to 1,000 all-purpose yards? He had 700 last year. I think Deebo is getting a bad rap because of what last year happened to him or what happened last year. And people are putting him on this pedestal and expectation. He was good. He was good. Now, on Deebo's end, he's going to have to lower that asking price. For sure, he's going to have to lower that asking price. Because I believe he's too talented to still be sitting out there. So it has to be a specific reason as to why he's still sitting out there. And my only thought is going to be the money. Now, I want to ask you guys, do me a favor. It's 133 of y'all in. Make sure you guys like this stream up. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 12,000 subscribers. Join the Gotti gang if you want. You know, $4.99 a month. I plan on doing some jersey giveaways soon for my channel members. And comment. I'm about to read y'all comments here in a minute after we go through the rest of the remaining free agents, receivers that are available. I'm going to go through the comment section. So this is your time to take over the show. So go ahead and comment away. But before we get to the comment section, I want to go over some possible remaining receiver free agents that may make sense. Because, again, as we know, the receiver position is very, very poor right now, to say the least. To say it lightly, the receiver position is very poor, if we're being completely honest. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me pull up the remaining free agents, receiver free agents available, and seeing who exactly is going to make a sense. It's going to make sense for the Commanders at this point. So let's go ahead and do that. Wait for Nick Harbor. Is Nick Harbor declaring this year, or he got? I think he went back to South Carolina, right? Him and Sellers, Lenore Sellers. All right, so this right here. Let me see if I move myself like these. Oh no, that's trash. That's trash. Let me do this right quick. All right, so Nick Harbor went back to school. Okay. So here's the remaining free agents for the command or for the receiver position right now. So Tyreek Hill is there. I don't think we're getting Tyreek Hill. First of all, he's not healthy right now. That's for one. For two, it's Tyreek Hill, and he's a guy that probably deserves a 1 year, $12 million deal, if anything, right? Because he has been super productive throughout his career. But I think he's out of our market. I don't think we even interested in Tyreek Hill. Stephon Diggs. Now, again, I'm talking about Stephon Diggs on the field. I'm not talking about Stephon Diggs, what he got going on off the field with Cardi B and all that, and a million baby mothers. I don't care about none of that. The on-field player, still productive. I may got a little bit Merlin bias in me. Might do. But I wouldn't mind Stephon Diggs. Do I think we're interested in him? Probably not. Next up, Deebo Samuel. His market value is quote unquote 15 million. I have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing Deebo Samuel is $15 million market value. The same market value. Well, honestly, if you look at the numbers in total, let me see if I could take off my overlay right quick so y'all could see. Because the numbers in total technically has him over. Let's do it this way. Put myself in the corner. So it has him at the hold on right quick. It has him at 15 million more, a couple 100,000 more than Tyreek Hill. So let me see if I can, so y'all can see this. I know y'all can see that now, but it's a little bit small. So let me do this. Maybe that'll work better. Okay. So if y'all can see right here, Deebo Samuel's market value is 15 million and technically more than Tyreek Hill. So again, that might be a big reason, and that has to be the big reason that Deebo Samuel is not signed. Because what did he sign last year? Y'all, he signed a one or no, we traded for him. So what his contract? Let me look it up right quick. See if we can find it. He was going into the final year of his deal. So let me see if I could find his contract last year and see how much he was making last year. Because I guess last year was a 1 year prove it deal for him. But does he think last year putting up 700 yards was good enough for him to sign a multi-year extension that he was looking for? I don't think so. That's why he's still out. So of course, last year it was like 1 year, $17 million last year. I don't have them bringing back Deebo Samuel on a 1 year, $15 million deal. If anything, I have them bringing back Deebo on a 1 year. I would say give him 1 year, $10 million. I'm in a Madden game right now. I'm in Madden GM mode. I agree. Cliff Kingsbury held us back. Yeah, you can say that. So, okay, Deebo Samuel, $15 million. I don't think he's worth 15 mil, right? But I do understand the market has changed a lot So you can't try to lowball these dudes, but you don't want to overpay for 1-year deals, right? Okay, Curtis Samuel. We already went down that road. I'm cool off Curtis. Curtis was cool, but I'm good. This is the bullshit that I don't see. Do y'all see this? This man, Jawan Jennings' market value is north of $20 million, meaning right here, it say this man won $22 million. Who the hell is Jawan Jennings feeling like? Some 1 year, $11 million, that would be perfect for Deebo. Who the hell, man time though, bro, like who does he think he is? Jawan Jennings. Mind you, hold on. Let's pause this right quick. And I know Juan, stats don't tell the whole story, but this man's best year was 900 yards. Curtis was good here. He was good, but he's not the same Curtis Samuel that was here in Washington. Like $22 million for Jawan Jennings. I would lose my mind if Adam Levine Peters decides to do that. He would take back all the good grace that he got from me and from everybody for having a hell of a free agency. I'm sorry. I'm not paying Jawan Jennings one year, $22 million or whatever, $22 million. I'm not paying him that. Right? Unless it's like a 3-year. Let's see if we sign him to a 2-year deal. Like that's different. Let's see. 22 divided by 2, $11 million. Unless it's like a 2-year, $22 million deal. Like, okay, cool. Paying Jawan Jennings $11 million too is still a little steep for me. But maybe I'm being a little too harsh. But $22 million, bro, at this point, most receivers, they sign in 1-year deals. There ain't many receivers that sign in multi-year deals at this point. DeAndre Hopkins, I'm cool off D-Hop, man. I think D-Hop, he still wants to hoop, but I'm good. Noah Brown, I'm good. For sure. Keenan Allen, I'm good. Jahan Dotson, he ended up signing with the Falcons, so I don't know why it say that he's still available. I don't know why that says that, because he signed with the Falcons. Josh Reynolds, I'm cool. Tim Patrick ended up going with I feel like I seen him sign some with Tim Patrick. You got Juju Smith-Schuster out there, Scott Moore. It's well, we already got a deep threat now in Deami, so we don't need a Hollywood Brown. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 31. I'm cool off these dudes, man. You gotta bring back Deebo. This free agent receiving class is nobody really left. So it gotta be Deebo, man. If we going down a veteran route, and we need help right now, bad. Deebo makes the perfect sense, man. I swear to God, bro. If we give Jawan Jennings 22, we get that man Jawan $22 million, bro. I swear to Lord, bro. I'm going to Kirk, bro. Like, he's so mid, bro. Like, I never thought Jawan Jennings was like that. If I'm being real with y'all, bro. Like, he's cool. That phony ass mohawk he be wearing though. Let me stop bidding though, bro. Let me stop bidding. But I never thought Jawan Jennings was that good. Just being honest. But Hollywood signed with the Eagles. Did I miss that? That's sneaky. That's sneaky. I had to miss that. That didn't just happen, right? That just happened or something. No, that was probably a couple days ago. Oh no, I'm burnt. I did remember seeing that because we talked about it in the group chat. I did remember seeing that. All right, y'all. So we about to look in this comment section, and I'm done yapping. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to y'all comments. I'm gonna just start from the newest comment on up. Why not? Because I don't even know if everybody is if everybody from the top is still in this jump. But I'm getting to y'all comments. This is y'all time to take over the show. So do that. Make sure y'all like the stream up and all that. My guy, Boo. Deebo was decent, but $15 million for 18 years. I mean, 800 yards ain't it? And I get you. Someone said a 1 year, $11 million deal. I'd do that. We traded for his contract, and basically it was 1 year, 17 last year. So I do 1 year, 11. I'm not doing 1 year nothing for Juwan Jennings unless it's like 1 year, $8 million or something. That, bro, he's not that good, fool. Like, I don't know, bro, man. I'm not trying to be a hater because if he become a commander and he start frying shit, I'm gonna be the biggest bandwagon ever. But that crazy mohawk on a grown man, I'm saying though, bro, he growing and shit with a mohawk. Yeah, yesterday, yeah, we did talk about it. I don't know how that slipped my mind, but I would definitely bring him back. All receivers should be deep threats. Let's see what else. Commanders fans and government names be tripping me out. I ain't gonna hold you. We might just gotta get. I'm saying though. Y'all might gotta pull up with my Merlin, man. Stephon Diggs. I know he be tripping off the field. I know what he be doing, but we ain't gotta worry about that. SD just had 1,000 yards last year. Saying, bro. But I don't think they want Stephon Diggs, but I would get him. I would definitely get him. I do want Deebo back. Just draft a receiver. I didn't buy his jersey. Oh, I think you did tell me that. I wouldn't have bought no 1 year. June. I wouldn't have did that. Only jerseys I'm buying is if you sign if you got multiple years left on your deal, bro. Like, the only 1 year player I would buy is Tressway. But now that Tressway ain't in 5, I'm just like cool of like 10 is not his number. So I know him from 5. So I would probably get his old jersey. To be honest, we should have went after Pittman as cheap as the Steelers got him for SMH. Yeah, but we don't have enough draft capital. We don't have enough draft capital, man, to really be throwing away picks still. You know what I mean? Curtis was cool. Pay Deebo with incentives, let him earn what he wants. I'm right there with you, Queen. I'm right there with you. I think I agree. Throw some incentives in there to entice the deal, to make the deal enticing for him. I would definitely do that. Don't forget the tight end they signed is basically a big receiver. Chiggy is, I told y'all this. If y'all new around here, y'all probably don't know this. But Jordan Reed was my dog. I love Jordan Reed, bro. And to this day, I don't care what nobody say. I will go war for Jordan Reed. He would have been better than Travis Kelce. I said it, and I'm standing on it. I am standing on it. I don't care what nobody say. Had Jordan Reed stay healthy, he would have been better than Travis Kelce. I don't care. Jordan Reed was like that. And Chiggy, a lot of people say Chiggy give them Vernon Davis vibes. See, the reason why I didn't give him the Vernon Davis comparison is because we got older Vernon Davis, and he still was productive for us. Don't get me wrong. Him and Jordan Reed, Kirk Cousins under center, play action fake, and they both run the little crosser routes. Oh my God. Vernon was still like that with us. The hurdle on the sideline. Don't get me, but that was older Vernon. We ain't get athletic, super fast Merlin Turk, aka San Francisco 49ers Mike Singletary as the coach. We ain't get that Vernon. So I get Chiggy like Jordan. Like, this is the most athletic and best tight end we've had since Jordan Reed. So I'm right there with you. He is a big receiver, but you still want to have some actual receivers out there too, though. Let's see here. Say, yeah, bro, we need every draft pick. Yeah, we do. We do need every draft pick. Let's see what else y'all talking about here. Call me crazy, but I'm trading the pick 7 for Brian Thomas. He only 23. I'm not trading 7 for Brian Thomas. I'm not. Now, look, I'm gonna be real with you. If they want my first next year, I would entertain it. I would entertain it right now because my whole thought process is Brian Thomas could put us over the top. So you can have that first round pick next year because I expect that first round pick to be 20, 27, 28, 29, hopefully 32. I'm not giving you my 7th pick, though, for Brian Thomas. At that point, I'd rather draft Makai Lemon, somebody that don't have tendencies in the league of dropping passes and being scared to go across the middle. For as good as Brian Thomas was his rookie year, this is a big year for him. And I don't want to trade for a guy and give him my 7th round pick this year for a guy that you kind of are unsure about. You have the potential. You think he can be still really good because he's 23. But do you want to give up this? I'll give my first next year. I give up, like, let's say I give I give up a first next year. I give up my 3rd this year, maybe. I don't know. But I'm not giving up. Diggs is like AJ Brown. They played the same games, even though he's been in every game. Yeah. No go on Diggs. Diggs a playmaker for sure. Yeah, exactly. What's the latest story on trade? I think right now it's a rumor. I don't think it's no legitimate thing saying we're going to trade for him, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Diggs on if we was to do it, and I just told you I'm all for it, but next year's draft conversation. I wouldn't give up anything this year. Diggs on the field, best option off the field. Hell no. Yeah, I'm saying. I don't know what little SD we get. I mean, we do know because it's public, but I ain't condoning what he do off the field. But on the field, he's still like that. He's still like that. CMO says he might be an in-season pickup depending on if we in the hunt. Talking about Tyreek. I think Tyreek, because he still is recovering. I think Tyreek is a June signing. He's a June signing or he's a July signing right before camp. I don't know if, or maybe if that need isn't as close as it could be. Maybe he is somebody you pick up at the trade deadline and not trade deadline like you're going. Obviously, you can't trade for somebody that's not on the team, but maybe like instead of making a huge trade, maybe Tyreek Hill was the signing you make. That's a good point, CMO. That's a good point. But I think he's gonna get signed way before then, though. I meant to say the top 3 are some ish. This is a deep receiver draft class. See, I don't think they trash, but judging by your profile picture, you a Penn State fan. Throw it on a dime like I ain't even trying. Just a kid from Briarwoods. I'm wearing number 9. Met Coach Franklin down at Vandy. Flipped to Happy Valley. Come on, man. Trace McSorley. I'm sorry. Anytime I see that. But judging by your profile picture, you know more college football than me. So, I'm hearing that's the common thing, that this receiving core this receiver draft class is really good. My thing is, it's not like we got a 2nd round pick. Our 2nd round pick we gave up for the Laramie Tunsil trade. And mind you, I would do that 10 times out of 10. Not complaining at all. But had we had the 7th overall pick and then the 7th overall pick in the 2nd round again, or 2nd round this year, I would entertain not drafting a receiver in the 1st round. But we got to wait all the way to round 3. And are we sure we're going to be able to find a guy that we are expecting to come in and be potentially receiver 2 in the 3rd round? I don't know. Diggs is nice, but that's not building for the future. Well, I think at this point, Booth, there's nobody in free agency that you're going to get that you're building for the future with. I'm looking at free agency for some guys that can help boost this roster. Boost this receiver position from where it's at now. Right now, I think it's pretty trash. You could still go out and get a SD, a Stephon Diggs, a Deebo, or somebody, even Jawan Jennings, I guess, and still draft a young guy that could potentially take over the reins from Terry at some point. The cornerback position should be prioritized during the draft. LSU's Master Delane. Now, Master Delane, I know a lot about him. VTech guy, front of DMV, of course. He's interesting. He gives me shutdown corner vibes, right? But if we were to trade back, if we were to entertain the possibility of trading back, he's the first guy I would think about. Now, look, if their whole mentality is still getting BPA at 7, then okay. Take Master Delane at 7. I get it. But I don't know if that's still their mentality now. And I don't even think they view the quarterback position like that anymore. I think they're fine with their cornerback position. And they're going to draft cornerback later rounds to build the depth. But as far as the 3 starters and how Deontay Jones runs his scheme, I think they're perfectly fine with how this receiving core is right now, or DB core is right now. We need to bring back Deebo, my guy, Miss Ivy, or sorry, my girl. I'm sorry, Miss Ivy all day. I totally apologize. I'm blind. As you see, I'm blind. That's why I had to get close. My apologies. Deebo was the team's leading yak getter of all the receivers last year. Yeah, he was. Too focused on JD5's vision, JD Vision 5. Gotta understand, you gotta get your young stars, get your stars. I agree. Bane is my pick at 7. Mike, my guy Mike, OG in the building. He says my Bane is my pick at 7. Okay. I'm not mad at it. I still ain't mad at it. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Like Queen said. Hit that like button for me. All right, let's go all the way down. I've read a lot of the comments at the top. Let's see what y'all talking about now here at the bottom. Let's see. Hey, look. He crazy thing is, he just started calling me that. And now that I got the haircut, I really look like a full-blown Migo now. That's the crazy part. He was calling me Juan Santana when I had my hair. This recently, though. Futuristic recently gave me this nickname. But now that I got the low cut, it ain't an inch. I don't look an inch black no more. I don't look an inch black no more. If I told you my mother was black, y'all probably wouldn't believe me, because this low cut ain't doing me no favors. But I'm cool with it. Juan Santana, it is. We can rock with it. But let's see what y'all talking about. Chiggy built and moved like Vernon Davis. Okay, I mean, look, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at the Vernon Davis comparison at all. I'm a Jordan Reed guy, bro. So like, I really feel like Boo. I think I disagree with you on this one. I think Hollywood got some potential left in him. I do. Now, I don't think going to Philadelphia is going to untap that potential due to who their quarterback is. But the 2 seasons he was in Kansas City, he was supposed to be really good. And the first year I think he broke his collarbone or something like that. And then this year, the Chiefs were just bad offensively, overall team-wise. And then Patrick Mahomes got hurt. So I think somebody can untap his potential as a deep threat. I do. Jennings is a beast, bro. Boo, he cool. Now, let me rephrase the way I'm talking about it. He ain't trash, but if we sign him, is that a needle moving signing for y'all? Like, nah, I don't know, man. For me, like, that ain't a needle moving signing. My guy, Dr. Christian, says, "Come on, my guy, Gotti, Deebo ain't it." Nor it says Jennings is so sound, but I'm all about the youth movement. You already know Aiyuk is gonna be good, whether he arrives in June or August. Thanks to JNVR. Okay. Jennings only 28 though, so that's not super youth, but that's still pretty young. I'm just not like Jawan, cool. Like, he alright though, but like it ain't somebody that I'm like, I'm banging the table for. I'm somebody I'm definitely not paying $22 million for. His market value, Dr. Krishna, is 22 mil. We paying him that to no. Maybe you slice that in half and give him 1 year 11, but I'd rather give 1 year 11 to Deebo. I'm sorry. I'd rather get 1 year, $11 million to Deebo. Dave, Mariota was disappointing. So as the quarterback goes, the defense, so does the offense. Dave, Mariota was Mariota. You got the full Mariota experience last year. I don't think he was horrible. I don't think he was perfect. I feel like he did enough to have more than 5 wins. Be honest with you, he did more than enough. I think had some of these games went in the favor of the offense because the defense couldn't get no stops neither, we would have won at least 8-9. We could win at least 8-9 games with Mariota. We can, right? But of course, hopefully we don't have to see him on the field no more. Call me crazy, but I think we should draft 2 receivers. If we don't do nothing with the at free agency, Queen, no more. I ain't mad at it. But everybody talking about Jawan Jennings, and he was round 7. He cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's all right. Go watch his tape. He cool. If we get him, we still definitely got to do more at the receiver position. AP will draft the Tennessee receiver Christian Brazil in the 3rd round if Jacob Rodriguez is gone. Do you know about Chris? I'm gonna do my research. Y'all know I ain't in the college. That's why my man with the Penn State, he been going hard in the comment section about you don't need to draft a receiver in the 1st round. My man with the Penn State jump, Brock, I'm listening to him because he's not the only one that told me to receive this receiving core, this receiving draft class is packed. You also too, Dr. Christian, basically off the names you told. My thing is we got a 3rd round pick after the 1st round. If we had our 2nd round pick, I'd be all for potentially not drafting a receiver in the 1st round. You know what I'm saying? Queen says y'all smash that like, but listen to the Queen, man. Listen to Queen. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, man. It's 125 of y'all in here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button for your boy JG. Son says you may be worrying about receiver too much. Don't forget JD5 turns receivers Jags into gems. That's true, son. That's true. But do we really want to keep putting all this pressure and all this expectation on 5 to have to turn these guys into Jags? Why can't we just get him a guy that's already a beast? Right? Joe Burrow is a beast. He could turn guys into studs, but that didn't stop them from getting Jamar Chase. That didn't stop them from getting T. Higgins. So just because he has the ability to turn a De'Ami Brown into a star, turn a Treylon Burks into somebody cool, don't mean you have to handicap him. No, go get him some help. You don't want to put all. You don't want to. We already done put so much on his plate in 2 years. You want to get this man some help. Me too. I'm blind. Yeah. I'm sorry. I hope she's still in here. I apologize. I definitely read her name wrong. And when I did like this, I said, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Thumbs up the home team. You heard Stacy. You heard. Thumbs up the home team. The cornerback position was a major liability last season. The defense skill position should be prioritized. Let's get massive. I'm not telling you the cornerback position is perfect. It definitely was horrible last year. But I'm telling you, with the way that they're moving, the way they're operating, Deontay Jones, it seems like they're fine with this cornerback position the way it is. And y'all know I'm a massive Mikey fan. Hopefully I get that Mikey jersey, this upcoming offseason. Mikey's my guy. Terry's my favorite player of all time. Terry is my current favorite player. Then it's JD5, and then it's Mikey. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that. I already got Terry. I got a Terry Redskin. I got a 5 black jump. 2 5 black jumps. And I got and now I need Mikey, the all white, the alternate jumps. Mikey is my guy. So which 49ers or former 49ers are we going to get or keep being a starter? I thought it was just Brandon Aiyuk. So originally it was just Brandon Aiyuk, but recently it said that yesterday Jawan Jennings, quote unquote, was visiting with the Washington Commanders. So with that being the case, potentially Jawan Jennings. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he's cool. Deebo is playing 2 positions, receiver and kickoff return. Well, that's what he does, right? That's what he does. Get Damon Damon's. He fits JD5. Oh, probably you meant Lemons. Malachi Lemons. No, it's probably another dude named Damon's. Probably. That bond already there with Deebo. Y'all better. I'm saying though, if y'all gonna give $11 million to Jawan, you might as well just get $11 million to Deebo Samuel. We need a receiver 1st round. I wouldn't be mad at it. I would not be mad at it. Elijah Surratt. I heard that name. That's bruh from Indiana. That's bruh from Indiana. I know Surratt. I know Jacoby Lane. That's the running mate with Lemon at USC. I feel you. If the receiver position is that deep, how you saying it is, I get you. I get it for sure. Yeah, Lemon, my bad. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant. But man, we got a lot to do, man, at the receiver position. I'm team bring Deebo Samuel back plus draft a guy, or team bring Deebo Samuel in and get Aiyuk or something. But we got to do something at the receiver position right now, because as it stands to this very second, we are struggling at the receiver position and we need help massively. But that being said, it's me and boy Juan Gotti. Shout out DMV Bay. Is that OG? That's OG? If that's OG, shout out to OG. But as always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for rocking with me for this lovely hour. Y'all know I'm going to be live all the time, so continue to have them notifications turned on and subscribe so y'all can pop in and hang with me for the times that we do the live show. But as always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel on the road to 12,000 subscribers. So that we greatly appreciate it if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. I'm out.
Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.